Hello and welcome to the Year of Shame Challenge 2 podcast, episode 10. I am your host, back once again like a renegade master, Adam Ducker, and I'm hoping I'm not going to hear any ill behaviour from my fellow co-hosts, Colm and Justin. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Introing like it's 1996.
Hey, I've got to bring it once a month. I've got to bring
You didn't
it.
last month.
Well, okay. So, I just have to... I guess we should address that. I now have my laptop back. Woo!
Yay.
I would just like to say thanks to Terry for joining in. It was entertaining to hear him again, talking.
Did you expect him to give us more of a hard time than the easy ride he gave us?
I have to be honest, when things fell through and that we had planned and it was him that ended up hosting, I was like, guys are going to get an easy ride. If anything, they're going to get tips on how to cheat. If anything, you gave him a harder time about the lottery friend.
Well, some people like winning prizes and money, don't they, Adam?
Yeah. Well, you know, some people like a cheeky gamble. Anyway, let's move on without further ado to what we've been playing. And Justin, I haven't heard from you for so long. I'd love to hear what you've been playing.
Well, I'm going to start off by acknowledging I completed my next round of Assassin's Creed games with Assassin's Creed Revelations.
So you're very nearly done with this whole thing.
Yeah,
You're
I
getting
have
closer.
finished all of the physical discs of Assassin's Creed that I currently own. So I've just got Assassin's Creed 3 to play through, which is on the hard drive. In all honesty, I think you had probably kind of built it up to be worse than I found it. So
Okay.
It was odd, actually. I really had no idea what to expect. Now, you guys have both played this, haven't you?
No.
You haven't? Okay,
No.
right. In which case, I'll try not to spoil it too much. But do you have any intention to play it?
I do, but it's no problem because I have short-term memory anyway, so I'll probably forget what you said anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah, remember, Year of Shame, Colin, not Year of Go Out and Buy Stuff.
That's where he's been going wrong.
Right, so as many people have said before, this is set after Brotherhood, and it links into Altair from the first game, and it flips between Ezio going to Constantinople and searching for some keys that Altair had when he was running around when he was sort of in his 18 to 90-year-old state. And, he's very old. And these keys are just basically discs. I don't know why, but I was expecting them to actually be like, mechanical keys rather than just shiny circles. But you do a main section of Ezio, and then ultimately you sort of find the Templar that is holding the key for that section of the memory sequence. You go off and capture it, and then you play through an Altair section, which is just, well, it's nothing to do with the keys. It's just telling how the Assassin Order kind of fell apart and at the end of Assassin's Creed 1. So it does sort of show the end of his life, like the final years. As I say, he's very old, and just him. He kind of goes on a self-imposed exile for 20 years, and then comes back. And one of the guys who got corrupted is running the place, and you're like super assassin. Just everyone starts defecting to you, and you just walk along, and all of a sudden, all these assassins just jump out of nowhere and kill anything that's in the playing field.
Yeah.
So really, the majority of the Altair sections are just pressing up. Just walking forward until you have a cutscene. The Ezio ones, you've got to go probably, I'd say, halfway into the game before you start the recruitment of your own Assassin Brotherhood. That was obviously a key thing in the third game. So in this one, it's not quite an afterthought, but you kind of go so far, and then they go, "Oh yeah, we're going to need some ranks." You know how to recruit people. You've been successful in that, and leveling them up is done much the same way. You send them off on missions, and they come back or they get killed, and then if they get killed, you just go and recruit someone else. And the Desmond side
really
of it,
miss them.
Yeah, the Desmond side of it is you're essentially locked in the Animus, in a safe zone with Subject 16, who's the one that's been leaving memory fragments in all the previous games.
Yep.
And you chat to him, Subject 16, and then you go off and you do the next memory sequence, and then you come back, and the idea is that you're in a coma.
Yeah.
Due to the events that ended Brotherhood.
Brotherhood, yeah.
And and if you haven't played Brotherhood and you intend to play Revelations first for some reason, basically it starts by telling you exactly how Brotherhood ended. It couldn't be any worse at spoilerific.
Yeah, it wrecks it from the start, yeah.
But then, there is quite an important event at the end of Brotherhood.
Yeah. It's probably one of the better endings.
Yeah, because you'd said to me, when I played through Brotherhood, I didn't really feel like I was achieving anything as far as the real world goes.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you're just plodding along.
Yeah, and in this one, obviously in the real world, nothing really much is happening because you're not in it. And then you get to the end of the game and you wake up.
That's why I kind of have that feeling of them being filler.
And there are sort of a couple of different people around you, and he just kind of goes, "Okay, I know what to do now." And then the game ends.
Yeah.
So, again, they clearly set it up for the start of Assassin's Creed 3, but it did sort of come to the end of the Ezio life, because Ezio is sort of in his 50s. He's got a grey beard and looks haggard.
You can still go for it though.
But some of your challenges are still to outrun the recruits and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is quite amusing. So in terms of did I hate it? No, not at all. I'd say probably in terms of where I rank it so far out of what I played, Brotherhood, then 2, then this, and then 1. Far behind.
Is this the one that has the weird tower defense, or is that Brotherhood?
Right, see, this is the thing. Yes, it does have the weird tower defense.
But you don't have to do it.
You have to do it once.
Yeah.
And then when you... Right, so in Brotherhood, you have the Templar towers, and you take those over, and it decreases the guard level in guard presence in the city. But in this one, you've got Templars, and you've got city guards, and they're not necessarily against you. And, if you do naughty things, then they start becoming a bit more aware of your presence and start threatening you and whatnot. But on the whole, they generally just leave you alone. It's only if your notoriety sort of maxes out, which it goes up every time you get a city upgrade, buy a shop or whatever. But you go and unlock these towers, and this time they all turn into local assassin dens.
Yes.
And each assassin den, you can train one of your recruits up to level 10, and then make him den master. And if he hits level 15, that den will never get attacked again by the Templars trying to take it back. But invariably, you're going to struggle to do that.
Yeah, I didn't even bother.
But in the whole game, I only had one tower come under attack. So either I was playing through it too quickly, or I was better at it than some. But in terms of the tower defense, it's it's as simple as you're over some rooftops and you pick a few people with crossbows, a few people with muskets, and a few people to actually do hand-to-hand combat who just, you position them on the roofs, and as the guards sort of come down this alleyway, like this bottleneck, you're basically trying to kill them and stop them getting to the other side.
Yeah.
I didn't find it particularly annoying, but then I only had to do it twice in the entire game.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't miss doing it more than that.
No.
And I can see why it annoyed people, but I was under the impression it was like really, really constant and, it happened all the time. So when it only happened twice in the whole game, I just kind of thought, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah. Some people seem to have a rougher ride with it, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but...
Well, there we go. So, yeah, so I played through that, and I'm glad I played through that. Again, probably only took about 3 days to finish.
Yeah.
I have also been playing Hearthstone again and played through the latest section of the single-player campaign known as the Curse of Naxxramas.
Okay, so I've heard this name being bandied around. I actually have no idea what it is, though, or how you get it. Like, is it free, or...?
It is just included. It's free.
Okay.
When you load your Blizzard launcher, it will kind of download it, and it just adds on a section whereby you can use one of your custom-built decks to take on challenges. And there are, as is with Naxxramas in the World of Warcraft, there are wings to the dungeon, and this starts off with the spider wing of the dungeon, and you go up against the first boss who has certain talents and techniques. Then you go up against the second one, which was a royal pain in the backside, and then you go up against the third one, and then you basically win and get a special sort of limited edition card out of it. So it's a way to get extra cards that you can put in all of your decks. But the bosses in them, normally if you're just doing like casual games, say like you offered me a game, you'd present your deck, I'd present my deck, and you would only have the class talent. So a mage would have an option to spend 2 points and cast a one-hit fireball. A warrior has a chance to spend 2 points and get, +2 armor on their base health. And I think, the priest one can heal. Okay. So you have your own ability. But with the Naxxramas ones, you've got one that one of the bosses can basically pick a card at random and return it to your hand. So you can have your deck laid out. You could have spent ages putting all these cards out there, and it just turns along and goes, oh, by the way, get rid of that card. I don't want it in the game. And it puts it back in your hand.
So just for that game,
just while you're fighting that boss. Yeah, just basically removes it from the playing field, which can really screw you up. But the worst one is one of them has a talent whereby it fires like fireballs for each card you have in your hand. So if in the early game, when you don't have like hardly anything you can play because you can only play low value cards, you might have 6 cards in your hand. Well, it's gonna hit you for 6 hits straight away.
6 hits straight away.
And then the next round, you can only play so many cards, so you've probably got 5 cards in your hand. So it's going to hit you for another 5 hits straight away.
Wow, that sounds a bit brutal.
By the time you're on your third hand, you've already lost like half of your health.
Yeah, God.
And I must have toyed with my decks so many times, trying different things, until I eventually worked out that I'm sure it was the warrior one I went with, where I just kept healing or armoring up and just basically protecting myself rather than trying to throw my cards away as quickly as possible. Because that was the other way I tried it, was by all of these low-value cards so I can just basically have nothing in my hand. The problem with that is after 4 turns, you have nothing that can hit it. Because it just comes along and goes, yes, I'm just going to cast some spell that will kill everything on the arena. But I managed to play through, and I finished that, and then it gives you some like class-specific challenges, and it offers you the chance to play against the same bosses again on heroic mode, which presumably means the talents are much harder, or it has stronger cards or something. So I decided not to try that because I didn't want to hurt myself anymore. And the only other game I have beaten, I think we'll come back to in a minute.
Sure. Okay.
As far as games in progress, I've been putting a hell of a lot of time in NBA 2K14, playing my single-player campaign since the original save got corrupted. As I sit here at the moment, on the 31st of July, I have just managed to carry my team to beat the Miami Heat and take the Eastern Conference Final. It's put me on the Chicago Bulls, so it's put us in the finals of the playoff, and I seem to have arguably one of the best players in the league now. I made it into the All-Star team. I narrowly missed out on the MVP of the league award. I won Rookie of the Year. I've won awards left, right, and centre. I've broken the Heat's team record, all-time record for like most points scored in a season or something like this. I've broken the NBA record for most three-pointers scored in a season, and I nearly beaten Michael Jordan's record of like 69 points in a game as well. But
wow.
That's ball specific, because there's a guy from the 60s called Wilt Chamberlain who, if you ever look up his records and compare them to today's, they just, they eclipse everything. It was like, having the equivalent of Michael Jordan playing in a high school game,
Oh, okay. So,
it was one man was better than everyone else put together, kind of thing. So when I finish the playoff final, hopefully I'll consider that game complete. Because the reason I've been spending so long on it is because I've got it set on 12-minute quarters. So basically, every time I play a game, it takes nearly an hour to finish. And so far, I've played before the playoffs 65 games. Okay. I think I played something like a total of 6 games in the playoffs. So quite a few games put in there.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I've only got 4 games left to win, and then I'm done with that.
It's amazing how easily you can get into sports games. Like I always talk about my Football Manager thing. Like you can just hours go by and you barely notice, or you think, just one more game.
Yeah, well, yesterday I played 4 games back to back, because I got on a winning streak. And I thought, do I stop it here and kiss my luck goodbye, or do I push on? Because I really didn't think I was going to beat the Heat. There's an option you can do whereby you just like skip games that don't matter and go to what they call the key games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when I skipped all the games that didn't matter in the Eastern Conference Final, it put me in and said, your team is 3-0 down. You need to win this game to survive, or go home.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't even a case of like you could lose it but then still win the series. It was like, no, you have to win this. And then the next key game was, you're 3-1 down. And of course it's first to 4, so you've got to win this game. And then, so I was obviously 3-2 down, and ended up winning. And I was so relieved when the first 2 games LeBron James was not playing.
Yeah.
So it let me just walk onto the court and get 67 points without thinking.
Okay.
But then he came back for game 3, or the third game that I played, and took a lot of hard work to beat the team. And we ended up scoring the last bucket with half a second to go.
Wow.
And like won 107 to 106 kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So that was fist pump central, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I've had a few moments like that in the past. So I know that feeling. It's good.
So I'm still moving on with Crash Bandicoot on my Vita. I promised new listener Count Fosco that I would be probably trying to play a bit more Vita games this month, but I only really had a couple of hours to really try it because I've been missing a lot of time at the moment, which I'll come to later. I have started playing Ni no Kuni.
Oh, so it's a short game then, yeah?
Well, a game that is stupidly large in file size on my hard drive.
Yes.
That's the main reason.
Isn't it like 40-something gig, or...?
No, I think it's more like 20, but
okay.
So far, essentially, it's a Studio Ghibli movie with a little bit of RPGing in the middle of it. You know, there's a lot of cutscenes so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying watching it from that point of view. I haven't really had a fight that's proven particularly difficult at all, but then I've only just unlocked the first sort of city, so I haven't really gone as far as free roaming yet, but I've got quite a few spells and, you know, opened up the game a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I'm only probably about 4 hours into it. And that game will occupy a large proportion of time.
Yes.
So probably August Bank Holiday weekend, I will probably, just sit and play that in my pants.
Uh-huh.
And I've been playing the first, I think, 7 chapters of Dead Space 3 on co-op.
Okay.
So this is online co-op, and well, Dead Space 3 has mixed feelings on from a lot of people.
Like I talked about it because I think I just started it with episode 8 when we recorded that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I must be on 7 because we've got to the shuttle.
Yeah.
And we've basically been told, oh no, we got the shuttle to fire.
Oh, okay.
So I can't think what we need to do next because it's been a while since I played it. But what I found was some of the sections are just so frustrating. And the checkpointing is a little bit broken.
Yeah.
Like, there's a section where you have one of the unkillable mobs sort of chasing you. And you have to wait for a train to arrive.
Okay.
And it's we got to the other end of the train, and it said, like, mission complete, you're now on the next section.
Uh-huh.
So my friend who's hosting the game leaves the game and says, so say goodnight, leaves the game. What does it do to me? It goes, yes, we're going to reload your last save point, which is before that room with the unkillable thing.
Yeah.
And so I had to play that whole section again, which took us probably 20 times to get through it. And, so it does have a habit sometimes of putting you in ridiculous places. I do think it is better to play it in 2-player, because I have played the odd bit in single-player, but being able to talk to people, have a laugh. I think any game that has co-op that is notorious for being bad,
mm-hmm.
you can always enjoy it more when there's someone sharing that experience with you.
That's true.
Because I played Resident Evil 5 in local co-op over 3 days with my mate.
Okay.
And, it was a slog, but it could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to push on. And at the moment, we're still in space, but I know that's not going to be the case forever.
No, unfortunately, you can't...
In fact, no, we have just landed. Yeah, we have just got on the snow.
Oh, okay. Well, enjoy that.
Yeah, that must be where we saved it when you end up falling down this hillside.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
okay.
So we've done that, and the only other game I've touched, other than what we'll speak about in a bit, is I have tried to start playing The Binding of Isaac.
Tried doesn't sound like you stuck with it.
Well, see, here's a tale.
Okay.
I wanted to play on a pad.
Yes, okay. I know.
I do not own a 360.
Okay.
I own a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
If you plug your USB lead into your PlayStation 3 pad and then stick it in your PC or your laptop, it goes, oh, I found a PS3 pad. I'm going to download the drivers for that. Thank you very much. Yes, you have connected a PlayStation 3 DualShock 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody thing doesn't work though, does it?
It just knows what it is, yeah.
Yeah. So when I loaded up Binding of Isaac, it goes, if you're using a pad, download Joy to Key.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Joy to Key, and it's going, okay, set up your joystick commands to replicate the keyboard and all this. Only it still wouldn't actually configure the joypad to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent ages looking online at ways to try and get this PS3 pad to work, and they were all saying download this program or download that program, and everything I could read kept saying, yeah, but it acts as a Trojan, or it requires you to be online all the time.
I remember all this from when I thought about doing it a long time ago.
Yeah, so I decided I'm not touching that, but I had probably wasted 3-4 hours in trying different things.
Yeah.
So I had a brilliant brainwave. I've got a fight stick, haven't I?
Yeah, a USB fight stick.
I got the fight stick out. I stuck that in. That worked spot on.
Okay.
That it knows it's a fight stick. It knows it's an 8-way directional joystick. It knows it's got 8 buttons or 13 buttons.
Okay.
And the problem there is your 5 buttons, if you're going to use 4 of them, are in a square. They're not in a diamond. So if you're trying to shoot up, right, left or down, you have to, in your head, somehow interpret that up is right.
Okay. I get what you mean. Yeah,
So my hand, because it wasn't... That's it. Because my hand wasn't orientated correctly, I couldn't do that.
No.
At all. It just felt wrong. So I gave up with that, and I tried doing it with keyboard and mouse, keyboard controls, and I finished... I got down the first trap hole, got down the second trap door, and then I died. And then I thought, I'm not going to play this until I actually have a pad that I can play without downloading custom drivers that are not safe. And
I'm going to be honest,
any
though,
risk.
I did try and initially play it with the PC 360 pad that I have, and it didn't control all that well.
But then the 360 pad's D-pad isn't...
Well, I tried it both ways. I tried it D-pad and face buttons for the 8 inputs you need, and then I tried the 2 analog sticks, and neither was as nice as the keyboard. I kind of wrestled with the keyboard controls, and you get used to them eventually.
Does the shooting on the analog stick, does it shoot in 360 degrees, or does it just still only go 4 directions?
It still only goes 4 directions because it's set to you can't shoot it. Like, you'll notice if you tried to press 2 keys at the same time, he won't shoot diagonally, for example. Right. Which is why you get later on where you have to, some of the perks you get, like, make your shots curve, so then you have the situation where you're running up and down trying to curve your shots around bricks and stuff, and I'd stick with it. You're talking about fist pumping moments when you're playing NBA. You get to the end of Binding of Isaac and you'll be fist pumping.
I've never been a PC.
I know.
The last time I played a game like that with the keyboard was playing on the Spectrum. When joysticks wasn't really an option on the 48K Spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, it is coming to consoles, isn't it? So, Rebirth.
Yes, it's coming to Vita soon, but, I've got it there on Steam.
I'm sure it might end up being a freebie, though, at some point. So, you may get to play it.
We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. So we'll come back to the only other game that I beaten later.
Okay. Thanks very much. Colm, would you like to go next?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, what have you been playing, mate?
Short and sweet. Completed Batman 2 on the Vita.
Is this Lego Batman 2?
Yes, Lego Batman 2.
Okay.
And you actually enjoyed it, didn't you?
Yes. I initially thought it would have been possible to platinum like I did with the Lego Lord of the Rings, but I believe it's very hard to platinum. So
I've been led to believe that all the talky Lego games are quite difficult to do it on, or require a lot of time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Lord of the Rings and this and
Hobbit.
Yeah, I did platinum Lord of the Rings, but that was a bit time consuming too. And then I finished Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. which I didn't realise I was near the end of the last time I played it. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Dead Rising K0 on the Xbox, that's quite a short game.
So that's the one that's the prequel or something, yeah, to the second one?
Yeah, to the second one, yeah. So that's, and the other game which we want to talk about later. That's all the games I completed, and I'm currently in progress with Lego City on the Wii U.
Okay.
Really good, really enjoying that game. Wolf Among Us on the PS3.
How far are you up to with that?
I'm only on episode 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah,
it's enjoyable. A lot of people are saying it's as good as, if not better than, The Walking Dead season 1. So
yeah,
we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, it's a different type of game, I presume. It's a different,
Yeah, I'm not sure if I think it's better, but it's certainly enjoyable in its own way.
Yeah, and then just on the DS, I'm just playing Legend of Zelda, the Phantom.
The Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the first one?
The first one.
First one, yeah. Spirit Tracks was the second one. Yeah. So, yeah, really enjoying that.
How do you find the touch controls?
Yeah, I just have a DS Lite, so it's just grand.
Do you feel like a bit of a knob having to blow into the microphone?
Yeah, there was one or two occasions when I'm on the train and I was trying to make it look like I didn't have to blow into the thing. But yeah, I'm used to getting funny looks, so it doesn't bother me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, Adam.
Okay, so despite the fact that I was without my PC, I still managed to fit quite a bit in, but whilst I didn't have my laptop, I barely played anything because I was kind of in a gaming funk. I didn't want to play anything because I was in such a bad mood about the whole thing. So all I played for all of that time was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And that's on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I've played for about 30 hours and done next to none of the story because I've just been going around on the boat and there's so many little islands to explore and stuff. So I'm going to crack on, I think, with that at some point and finish the story. So that's the main thing I've been playing when I wasn't in a bad mood and didn't want to play games. And then when I got my laptop back finally, which is a whole story unto itself about the delay. Yeah. And then eventually, like, calling them out on Twitter seemed to make something happen. It's either that or when I did ring the factory the last time, they were like, oh, we've had this laptop for ages. And I was like, I know. So
yeah, didn't you have to like start telling them that it's essential for work? Your work being the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I told them I used it for work and that I was losing money.
Good lad.
So eventually, to be fair, they did stick to their guns of saying like we'll fit it in the middle of the night and get it out to you the next day, and they did. Like it was like dispatched at 7 p.m. and then was at my house the next day. Surprisingly not wiped as well, which I was very worried about, that everything would be gone, but it was just a motherboard fault, so I just installed the new one and we were away to go. So since I've got my laptop back, I've been a bit like a kid in a candy store. Kind of went back to some of my... we talked a few months ago about comfort games. So I'm no more comfortable than sat watching TV whilst playing Football Manager. So I started a new career as Portsmouth, and it's all going well. Halfway through the first season, I think I'm going to get promoted from League 2. So I'm happy with that. I also decided to install Burnout Paradise, which I had in Steam. Just, again, comfort gaming. Always loved Burnout. Thought, fancy starting from the beginning again. Why not do it on the laptop rather than the PS3? Played some Command and Conquer Red Alert 3.
Yeah, which is gonna just end soon.
Yeah.
The servers are going to get shut off soon.
So I'm playing through the single player at the moment. I forgot how funny all the FMV was, but also the quality of the standard of actors they actually got to be in that trash is.
Oh, George Takei and Tim Curry,
Malcolm McDowell. It's insane how many people agreed to sign up for that. When it's got really bad production values, but it's still brilliant. The core game's still amazing, though. It's a shame that we don't see as. I guess RTSs are kind of molded into MOBAs these days. So yeah, I'm going to finish that. It's fun.
Yeah, I've got the expansion as well.
Oh, this might have that. I don't know.
No, it's a separate install on Steam.
Oh, okay. Then I don't have that. Then I just have this.
I think I picked them up when they were like £5 for the pair.
Oh, okay. I played some Monaco with my good friend Happenstance. Kind of like a top-down robbery heist game. Very stylized graphics. You play like little dots.
So not quite a Hotline Miami.
No, nothing. It's not like you can kill people, but it's not overtly violent like Hotline Miami is. Not a lot to say on it. We kind of played a few missions and then we decided we were going to stop and we're going to leave it as one of our games to play online together on during Extra Life. I played that. I played some Mortal Kombat Collection because I thought, why not? So I played some of the first Mortal Kombat for a little bit. Enjoyed it. Still, always preferred Mortal Kombat as a kid to the Street Fighter games. So yeah, that was good. And then Destiny beta, whatever you want to say. I also managed to snag a code for that off a friend. And I played not as much as I'd like to, but I still managed a couple of good games of it and finished all the story missions on it. And I'm very impressed. I like how they've merged MMO stuff well into a first-person shooter. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that when it comes out. And then, so that's all stuff that's in progress or being played. Despite having no laptop, I still managed to beat 2 games. I beat Octodad: The Deadliest Catch.
On PC?
On PC, yep. Really fun game. When it eventually comes, I'm not sure if it's come out on PS4 yet or not. I remember it got delayed for a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember it got delayed after the PC version, but if it's out now, I definitely recommend it. It's just the right length before it starts to overstep its mark and things get too complex. Think of it as any longer, you'd kind of feel like it's starting to drag a bit.
Can I just quickly jump in there and say that there were rumours by some people that it was going to be the next PS Plus game for PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay.
And the developers have said they have no plans for it to come to PS Plus.
Oh, okay.
So if there's people who
Holding
are waiting
back
for the PS4 version to come to Plus, you may be waiting a long time.
Okay. Well, buy it then. It's worth whatever price it's going for.
It's less than £10.
There, yeah, I think it's like $15 here.
What is it? A platformer? What's the style of game?
What's the story of the game?
The story of the game is you are an octopus who's somehow infiltrated into the life of humans and nobody knows that he's an octopus, and you kind of have to go about your everyday life whilst hiding the fact that you are an octopus.
Really?
But I played it a Eurogamer last year, and on the PS4 pad, you do different actions to raise one set of tentacles for his arm, and then depending on how much you move the pad or move the sticks, it raises it different amounts. So you have to kind of judge movement up and down with into and out of the screen and things like that. Yeah, it actually really works in 3D elevation rather than just your standard, there's a 3D world, but up is still going to be forward. Up is actually up in some cases. And
the hardest bits of the game come where you have to climb up stairs and stuff, or ladders. So you've got to use whichever analog stick and the triggers to bend his feet tentacles up onto the next step of the ladder and then bend the next one. Otherwise, you just go tumbling down.
Well, the tutorial is you've got to get dressed,
Yes,
and then you've got to put on a bow tie and stuff like that. So just even walking through the house, it literally is like you say, you've got to just pull the trigger enough, and then swap, and just pull the other trigger enough so that you don't completely just fall over, or really lurch one set of tentacles really far into the screen and practically do the splits.
Yeah, that can happen a lot. There's some interesting bits where, like an octopus, you have to fit into a small space, and you think, I'm never going to fit through this, but you manage to by cleverly manipulating which tentacles go where and stuff. Really fun. So yeah, highly recommended. And the other game I beat was I polished off the last 2 episodes of Wolf Among Us. Again, Colm already said it's good. Lots of people saying it's better than Walking Dead. The ending was definitely good. The one thing I perhaps didn't like was I'm not quite sure they gave you enough reason to hate the main villain. By the end of it, you had to make a decision, and I'm not sure I was invested enough because they kind of kept who was the main villain quiet for a very long time, and he was in the shadows manipulating events. So I'm not sure if they quite pulled that off as well as they could have done. But other than that, thoroughly good. I'm hope there's a season 2 coming, but I mean, what they call Telltale have a lot on their plate because they just announced the season 3 of Walking Dead. They've got the Game of Thrones and they've got the Borderlands coming. So I'm not sure if we'll see another Wolf Among Us anytime soon, and whether they can. I don't even know if they have the license. I'm not sure how closely the end of the series goes straight into where the comics started or what. So I guess we'll wait and see. Maybe, but not for some time. And I think that is everything. So you guys have something else to talk to us about? This infamous game that you are leaving till the end?
Yes.
So, what is it?
Well, it's Ride to Hell, Retribution.
Okay, tell us about
it. Just to clarify, this is Ride to Hell Retribution. Colm has the 360 version, I have the PS3 version. And I went off and looked at the review scores of this game. And as low as they may be, the 360 version is, well, in order of greatness, you have the PC version, then you have the 360 version, then you have the PS3 version. Mm-hmm. And it was always a done thing that if it's a multi-format conversion, the PS3 always suffered because it was harder to port to. 360 was much easier as it was sort of similar sort of operating system.
Yeah.
But, wow.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah, the tables have turned in the newer generation. Your generation. Yeah, so at the end of last month, Colm was hinting about the dodgy game.
Okay.
And this was the dodgy game.
Oh, okay. And why is it dodgy?
Okay, on the box art, it's actually got 1% written on it.
Okay.
And it was almost as if they were proud that might actually be the review score.
Yes, to me, that is generous.
It's just one of those games a bit like how Deadly Premonition was a bad game, but sort of rose up somehow. Is this one of these games where it's bad and it's kind of become...
No, there is no rosing up.
Okay.
No.
There is. It should be buried and forgotten about. Unfortunately, it will live in infamy.
Okay. Yeah, you two finished it or not?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So is the joke on you guys then, or?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're saying about is the joke on us. When Colm got the copy,
mm-hmm.
because I obviously wasn't on 360, you couldn't send it to me.
Okay.
So Colm obviously went back to we haven't actually said this was kindly donated, if that's the right way to say this, by Fury AC3 Stuart Cullen. And when I spoke to him
Kindest man
about
ever.
it, I said, did you somehow think that because Colm was accusing me of playing games that I wasn't enjoying, you'd really up the ante and kind of make it like, if you're prepared to play possibly the worst game of the generation, anything after that must be better.
Yeah.
Colm,
That's it.
Colm, you did a review on it. Do you want to read that?
Well, I won't torment the listeners. I'll break it down a bit because it's basically, I don't know how this game ever got produced, or it was shipped out quickly, obviously, but...
It was at one point designed to be a free roaming game, and there are elements that suggest that.
Yeah, it's not, suggestions, but not actually practical. So basically, on paper, this game sounds amazing. It's got shooting, it's got sex scenes, driving, stunts, guns, big guns, and a story of revenge.
Okay.
But basically, it all starts to go downhill once you turn on your console and stick the disc in. Loading. Came to mind. It takes forever to load.
Yes. Yeah. No. See, I'm gonna. I need to say this. Colm had already been started to play this when I received my copy, and sure enough, I put the game in, and it didn't tell me that it was downloading any patch. You know, like normally when you play a PlayStation game, it goes, "Oh, there's a patch," and I'm going to spend 3 hours downloading it.
Yeah.
It supposedly launched, and in the center of the screen, it's got loading. And it just keeps like repeating, scrolling letters, loading. And 20 minutes later, it was still saying loading.
Okay.
And half an hour later, it was still saying loading. Eventually, I used the PS button to quit the game and tried to launch it again. When I did it the second time, it launched straight to the title screen. So glitch number 1, on my first boot of the game, it did not load.
That's why the PS3 version has a lower score than the Xbox 360.
I think of all the times I chose to play it, probably 50% of the time the game did not load on the first attempt.
That is abysmal.
And it's probably the only game where I physically, mentally tormented myself to finish this game. It was just, even my own son said, "What are you playing that crap for? There's plenty more good games to be playing." And he didn't even want to look at me playing it. So it seems to take forever just to get the game running. Considering graphics would look more at home on an Xbox, the original Xbox, I was surprised it took so long.
Uh-huh.
So basically, you just play as the main character, Jake Conway. Typical, stereotypical, messed up Vietnam veteran looking to make a peaceful life for himself following his return home from the war. So, shortly after that, Jake's young brother, is killed by a biker gang, at which point it becomes a tale of revenge. It's a testosterone-fueled journey of booze, sex, well, if you want to call it that, smoking and revenge. The sad thing is, it took me 16 hours of excruciating gameplay to finish this bloody game.
Did you play it on easy or on normal?
Normal.
Yeah, me too. Did you think that might have been a mistake at several points? Did it present you with the option of, are you sure you don't want to play this on easy?
Yes, it did on numerous occasions, but I swear to God, those 2 weekends were the worst weekends of my life. But I got it. So I was determined to finish it, and much to my son's annoyance, as I gave the quote earlier. The worst thing I found about this game was the controls. For a game that is all about motorbikes, the handling was crap. Absolutely crap.
You've got to explain. The motorbike sections are essentially drive straight forward up the road until you reach some unknown destination.
Yeah, and then you have to slide under a truck maybe or something like that. Press the Y button at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Do you know that one? Remember that?
Yeah. and even if you slide under the truck, somehow the game thinks you didn't slide under the truck.
It goes back to the...
You have no damage detection, right? If you drive into a truck or a tree or something like that, if there's more of the road that you can bounce into, as if your motorbike front wheel is some airbag, then it will just kind of like bounce you a little bit. But other times it will just grey out the screen and reload you, 20 metres back, which if you're supposedly chasing someone is enough to then go, yeah, you failed the mission. But other times, as Colm's saying there, you've got to make it down the end of the road in this time limit. And there's a branch falls over just at the edge in front of this tunnel. And sure enough, it gives you the prompt of press this button to slide under it. And if you're not quite straight, the minute that you press the button, you hit the side and fail.
Yeah. I thought that was just my bad game. But...
No. And I swear, on 3 occasions, I slid under the thing, front and centre, slid under, got out the other side, and then it greyed out and reloaded me back in front of the tree again. And you've only got to fail about 3 times, and then your motorbike spontaneously explodes.
Oh my god, it's really bad. Turning Point was bad, but this is worse.
The combat when, like, imagine Road Rash on Harley Davidsons, right? Yeah. Sounds great. But imagine if you're on a arguably controllable bike, that the minute someone rocks up alongside you, it then becomes a frantic button press game.
Quick time.
It's not even a quick time event. It will tell you a button, and you have to hammer the crap out of it in about a quarter of a second to fill up this bar before they hit you. They hit you 3 times, you blow up. You fill up this bar, they, for some unknown reason, swerve a little bit to the side and then explode. Like, you've punched the bloke with a nightstick and his motorbike has exploded. How does that work?
I actually, on 1 or 2 occasions, their bike swerved right in front of me and blew me up. I couldn't believe it. And actually, the second last level, that bike scene, you have to press them exactly at the right time when they come up on screen. It seemed to get faster.
Yeah.
The second last level, it seemed to get, you had to have lightning flat, quick reaction time.
You need a turbo button as well, is what you need.
And every time, it wouldn't be the same button that would come up every time, so you didn't know. You couldn't preempt what button was going to come up. I must have played that level for about an hour. It was excruciating.
And I know exactly what you were on about, and it wasn't a case of like there was one person and then you could go on far enough to hit a checkpoint. There was one person that if you beat him, someone came up alongside you again and you had to kill the next one. Then you had to get under a tree and then you had to do something else before it would trigger the next checkpoint. And normally it would spontaneously make you fail on one of those points. But the other section of the driving or riding, whatever you want to call it, was when you were in a sidecar. So you've got this like mentor guy who may as well be Whistler from Blade. He's pretty much modelled exactly like Chris Christopherson in that film. And he has a motorbike with a sidecar. You get in the sidecar with a gun turret, right? And you basically have to mow down anything you see and then pepper the hell out of the end of level boss, who can take more bullets than an armoured car. And you're also on a time limit. So it'll say, like, you've got to kill him before he makes it this far. And the control scheme is not even a case of, like, you're shooting straight. So you can just track him. No, because the motorbike guy driving it will swerve, meaning your point of view is completely screwed up, and suddenly you've then got to like let go of zoom, track the bike again, zoom back in, and then that bike swerves. I played that half an hour.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So
is it the worst game you played?
I don't think we can get to that question yet. You've got to talk about the on foot sections.
Okay. talking to I have to.
Right. So you do this on foot section where you basically rock up at this log cabin, and it's a den for the rival bike gang. And as you're going through, murdering anyone you see, sure enough, they notice you. They're trying to kill you, so you kill them in self-defense. Sometimes unprovoked self-defense, I must add. And you get halfway round, and there's this woman who is in a fight with a bloke. You walk in, you kill the guy, and instantly there's then a cutscene with you dry humping this woman in the very same room that you've just rescued her, knowing full well that there's probably goons in the next room that are going to come charging at you, but your guy's quite happy just chilling out and, having grinding sex whilst fully clothed.
Unbelievable.
Even later on, where there's a full-on orgy, everyone is fully clothed.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I actually just rescued this. I just was going out to the log cabin or something, and this girl was getting harassed by this fella, so I went over and rescued her. And next minute, straight in. How can I repay you, baby? I'm just looking at it going, what the?
And you also you go to like a topless bar, and there's the guys won't leave the bar, and she goes, oh, he's just a jealous regular, and he wants a bit more than I'm willing to give, or something like that, and so sure enough, fight ensues. You kill everyone. You don't even leave the bar. She goes, hey, okay, I'm gonna rock your world, and next thing you know, you're grinding on a pool table. Again, whilst fully clothed. It's just there's no sense in how it makes these points up, and it's almost as if it was made in the mind of a 13-year-old who knew kind of the actions that happen, but not the fact that you're actually supposedly in a different clothing situation.
It's safe to say that if every game was of this standard, I would not be a gamer.
Yeah.
The other fun section was in the sawmill. You fight your way up to this the sawmill where all the wood's getting cut, and there is a pressure sensitive trap that will lower a lift. So there's this pressure sensitive section, and you clear your way up to it. And then people charge you from the previously massacred section. They all charge up to you, and you've got to stay on this platform to bring the bridge down. But
Jesus, yeah, remember that,
bring the lift down. And every time they overwhelm you, you have to step off the platform to go and either heal up, not die, or kill someone, and then get back on the platform. At which point, more people spawn. And eventually, you might be able to get the platform all the way down so that you can step on the lift. Now, for reasons known to nobody on Earth, there's a minigun turret on this lift. Because obviously in a sawmill, you're going to have a minigun turret just on a random lift.
Oh, God, yeah.
So you get on the lift, and it's sure enough, now that you're not on the pressure-sensitive pad, the lift starts going up. But all those guys that were trying to shoot you, they now charge and go and stand on the platform. To begin with, you're low enough with the minigun, you can shoot them. But the higher you go, the more out of range you become of the point of view. So you have to keep getting off the gun to then shoot the people on the floor below the camera angle. And as you're doing that, other people from other sections are shooting at you. And God, just going up and down on that lift for 20 minutes was not fun.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, right? Shocking action sequences, glitches, all that stuff, and shameless dry humping scenes.
It's actually a good game.
No, I'm not going that far. But what I am going to say is I don't think it deserved to be scored as low as it did. Right?
Oh, come on.
No, I don't. A 10% to me Actually, I was about to say a 10% means that the game didn't even load, but fair enough. 50% of the time it didn't.
There you go.
But as far as the storyline goes and things like that, and the fact that if you followed it, yes, it was, you're driving up and down. The game loads, and you're just driving along, and suddenly on a gun turret with no forewarning as to why you're there. Shooting at all these people. You haven't even had the intro screen, but suddenly you're on a gun turret with no instruction how to use it.
Yeah.
And just shooting all these people running. But once you get into the game, the narrative and everything, there have been games I have played, and within 10 minutes I've gone, this isn't for me, I don't see the point of it,
and
I'm never going to play it again. Right? Now, okay, I was playing this because I was challenged to.
Yeah.
But if I had have had the misfortune to buy it, I could see myself actually playing it.
No, sorry.
I have played some pretty crap games in the past, and just for its ridiculousness and the fact that, there were moments where I just found myself laughing, going, really? Because there's no other reason that would happen. It just seemed so amusing from that point of view. Like you said, there's no way this game should ever have been released. But the fact that it was, I have played other games which I have just thought, I'm never touching that again. And, okay, I finished the game. I sent it to North America.
Fair enough, man.
It has gone. But
they're not bloody sent it to me.
No.
No, we were thinking about that.
I sent it as a challenge to Elaine from the Some Other Castle podcast, because I said to her, if I send this to you, would you actually stream it? Because dry humping and, absurdities and all this, it sounds like the sort of thing that you would really enjoy. And she said after looking at the Giant Bomb quick look on it, it was enough for her to be intrigued to give it a go.
I've seen bits of it on there. I don't think I watched the whole thing. Even I can watch it.
No. But like I say, that's the way I have left it. There was no way I was ever thinking about trying for more trophies than you have finished the game.
Oh yeah,
that was hard enough.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't let it tell me to put it on easy was just out of stubbornness, because I wanted to see how ridiculous the game got. But I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I'd like to think if I'd have dropped it onto easy, it would have been slightly less. You have a quarter of a second to hit 50 buttons.
Somehow I don't think it would have made any difference. Somehow I just don't think it would. So, and the only reason why I played it was because it was there, and I knew you would finish it, so I wasn't going to. Me.
Yeah, I do have this kind of infamous persona now that I have to know the game is bad. And I have to know that I've given it a good chance by finishing the game to know that the game is bad. Because it might get better later.
Yeah.
So I stand by my view that it wasn't the worst game I've played. And I told that to Stuart, and he just said, there's the YoS 2 box art quote right up there.
It's possibly one of the worst games I've played, yeah. It's up there. It's certainly one of the worst games I've actually finished.
Well, you never played games like Manic Miner, or did you? Manic Miner was actually, it was like Gauntlet. There was no way to finish it.
No, I didn't play Manic Miner. Thank God. I played Turning Point one. And I played that other horrendous game with Cold Masters. I played a few Cold Masters games, and they should stick to their driving, basically. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but not Grid 2, please. Not more of that.
No, okay. Whatever you say.
Do you want to move this on now, Adam? Because I think we kind of ranted about that.
Yeah, well, thanks for that extended deep review of what the hell was it called? Ride to Hell.
Ride to Hell.
Ride to Hell. Retribution. 1%.
So if anyone sees it in the store, I would
it's
buy
been moved on now. It's Stylistic Puppy's getting it next, I believe.
Okay.
So he's got the good fortune to experience the hardship.
Fair enough. Well, thanks.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Stuart.
Chris of Games, he couldn't finish it. He broke shortly after starting it. So Stylistic Puppy is getting it next, I believe.
Okay. Well, we hope he enjoys it and lets us know what he thinks of it. He may like it. Who knows? So, without further ado, we're going to move on to what we have picked up. And Justin.
So, obviously, Right Out of Retribution. Picked up, finished, sent across the pond.
Couldn't get rid of it quick enough.
The only other game I've played, because last month we managed to record after the PS Plus update, and this is, well, we're actually recording the same month, so it's not the first Wednesday of the month yet, so I don't have any more PS Plus games. The only game I have picked up, and this is as a result of a, well, I'll be honest, I begged on Twitter last night. I have had FTL on my Steam wishlist for some time, because it's the sort of game that had appealed to me, and as Steam likes to do, as is their wont, I got an email yesterday saying, hey, you know that game that's on your wish list? We put it in a daily sale. So I put a tweet out saying something like, does anyone, would anyone be interested in buying me this game for £2.67 or whatever it was? Basically less than £3. Free mention if on the podcast if you do. And we had at Tatsun, who
friend of the show.
Friend of the show, yeah. He very kindly sent me a note on Steam saying, because it is a glorious game and everyone deserves to play it, here is FTL. So thank you very much, sir, and I'm sure we will be speaking a bit more closely soon.
Cool.
And that's it. That's the only thing I picked up.
Woo! Good going. So I'll go next whilst we're on a roll. So I got a copy of Lost Remnant, also sent as a Steam gift. My friend Happenstance got the Square Enix bundle, and it was a game that he had doubled up because it was one of the games they added for beating the average after the week after.
Yeah, because they've been doing a lot recently with those bundles of not unveiling the bonus games until much later, haven't they? Like normally they tell you everything within sort of 2 days of them being on.
And they'll add like one game a week after normally. Yeah. But now they've been adding a whole truckload of stuff afterwards, yeah.
And speaking of trucks.
That was good. So people remember from my email last month, I won some money on the old football. Unfortunately, none of my other bets came through. I didn't win any more money because Neymar broke his back and Belgium got knocked out. So I only had $9 left to spend. So one of the things I bought was they did a reflash sale of Humble Bundle simulators, and I picked up the games I took out of that bundle were Euro Truck Simulator and Train Simulator 12. Purely because this is one of those ones that I just want to play for fun and stream. No intention of beating it by like driving every truck route in Europe or anything. But yeah, it's just one of those curious things. You see lots of people playing them, people that have put way too many hours. So I just want to see what it's all about. So I think I paid the minimum for that because I didn't want any of the beat the average stuff. So that was just $1. And then the other thing I picked up, talking of bundles that add hundreds of games after the fact, I picked up the Humble 2K bundle with my last like $8. I think I paid like $7.50 to beat the average. So in that was the likes of Mafia, Spec Ops: The Line, the XCOM: The Bureau, The Darkness 2, and then after the fact they added the entire back catalogue of old XCOM games. So suddenly my Steam library just populated with like 8 XCOM games, which I didn't even realise there were so many. So that's all I got. So I won. So I have no money left in the bets. Yeah, that's everything. And now it is time for my favourite bit of the show. Colm, what did you pick up this month?
Well, lads, I'm sorry to disappoint the listeners this month, but I picked up back all except Xbox Live subscription.
I don't believe you.
And
I think at this point in the edit, I must have to put in some cheering.
yes, I think you should.
Some faux cheer.
I also got €10 from as a birthday present from Justin because I'm €5 short of getting. I have €39 on my eShop account, and I want to get The Legend of Zelda, The Link Between Worlds. So Justin sent on the €10 and with strict instructions not to buy the game until my birthday.
Yeah, I had every confidence, and I must say, I had every confidence because we got an email from you right at the start of the month going, I'm going to be good this month, I promise. And I know we've had similar messages from you in the past, but I had a lot of confidence, and I felt not a little bit guilty, but I felt a little bit obliged that because my original intention was, as we've said before, to give you the Mario Kart game for your birthday. You ended up paying for the code or donating something in favour of the code. So I kind of felt that I hadn't really kind of given you anything. So yeah, we had a chat, and you said, well, I've got my eye on this, but I haven't got enough to buy it, and I didn't want you to have to break what was going to be a good month for you. So I was like, yeah, I'll sort you out.
So, and I was like, I'm not married, but it was like our anniversary last Sunday, and 20 years together. So I got, on top of that, I got €25 eShop points, eShop voucher. So in total now I have 60 odd euro in my eShop.
Ooh.
And it's possibly been the hardest week so far of my life not to spend any of that money. But lo and behold, I haven't spent a sausage.
Well done.
It's more cheering. So, yeah, finally after 10.5 months, I've got the whole aspect.
Nailed it down.
You're a shame. So we'll see what next month brings me. I've no reason to actually I've no real reason to actually download The Legend of Zelda, apart from greed, because I have.
Because you're playing
the Legend. Yeah, because I have one of the Legends is on the DS, so I might as well try and finish that before I, get that one. So that's it. I've been a good boy. Sorry to disappoint the listeners.
I think there are probably some people picking up their jaws from the floor at the moment. But no, I'm proud of you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
As I said in the pre-show, I can't believe we've got this far and you're the first one that hasn't picked anything up. It's a travesty, but well done.
Well, other than Ride to Hell, if FTL
Ride to Hell.
If FTL wasn't in the daily sale yesterday, I would have made it one recording to the next without picking anything up.
Yeah, that's true.
But
because of the timing.
I doth my cap to Colm.
Well done.
No, but I've been doing my cap to you for the last 10 months, so.
But it's more of an achievement, I think, at this point that you've done this than the whole of the other 10 months.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, so, Colm.
Yeah.
You haven't picked anything up, so you must be missing something, so why don't you tell us what you're missing at the moment?
Missing? Well, I'm just counting the days down to my Xbox One, which will be this day next Thursday.
Wow.
And I'll be away, so that'll even be worse.
Oh, torture.
Yeah, torture, yeah.
Taking it with you?
No, I haven't. I haven't stooped to that low yet. The fact that it'd be too big anyway. I'd probably have a better chance of bringing my Wii U with me than anything else. I probably won't.
Or your DS.
Yeah, I'll bring my 3DS.
And then you'll be able to download Zelda.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be good now. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to my Xbox One.
Cool.
Even though everybody in the house is telling me, but you're a Sony, you're a PS3 boy. I said, no, I'm anybody's sweetie. So yeah, that's it.
I'll have to add you on Xbox Live, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
On his own account, not his son's.
Yeah, I'm not playing games with your son.
Yeah. So
okay.
Adam.
I am not missing a thing. Getting my laptop back has been like Christmas. And I've been like, this is the stupid thing. So I guess I got games gifted last month for my birthday and stuff. And I installed all of them, didn't play any of them. I installed DC Universe because I was like, yeah, I want to play an MMO. So I've been going crazy a bit. It's like a cat with catnip. Can't get enough of it. So hopefully this month coming up, August, is going to be more productive in the gaming front. And I'll have played tons of stuff to tell you all about. Justin, you've already alluded to you not having as much time. So what's been going on?
Okay, so last October at work, it was hinted that I would be in line for I guess you'd say it's a promotion, a kind of like sideways move to directly learn my manager's job role. And this last week, so basically this time last week, I was taken into my senior manager's office and sort of was told, as of Monday, the company has to announce its new structure. So we've just recently had some redundancies, and now they're moving all the managers and all the departments and everything like that. So reorganisation.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, basically, your team is being put under a new manager. Your current manager is going to accounts department, and you are going with him. And I have pretty much been told that, I am going to have a new job role. And just at the moment, one of my engineers is away for 2 months, and someone else is on holiday. And I've kind of been trying as much as I can to juggle all of the calls that are coming in, and use what little resource I've got. And I've said that I don't want to pass my job on to someone else while it's in such a state, and that's not something I can click my fingers and fix. It's something that's due to manpower out in the field. And while that's happening, I have been working a lot of overtime because there's all sorts of jobs. It's one of these things that everyone has a job role on paper, and that's never the entirety of what you do. You always do little jobs that, in theory can only take 5 minutes or might take an hour or something, but sooner or later that all starts mounting up. And I actually had to do a job spec for my new senior manager on Monday, and I had to sit there and go, right, what do I actually do? How would the place fall apart if I wasn't here? And so I just had to make this sort of A4 list of all the various things I do that are specifically me. And so as I say, I've been working extra, and on top of that, I have been trying to plough a lot of hours into NBA 2K14 in order to finish the season, and then put that away. And as a result, I guess having doing editing for the shows and podcasts and things, and going away for me 24-hour mountain bike race umpiring, marshalling, hockey tournaments, I've basically missed having spare time. I've been busy. I've started going to the Swindon board game group on a Monday night, so that's one more thing that I'm doing of an evening, and it just means I'm home less, and I'm missing playing games. But at the same time, when you have that frame of mind of you get home late and you just don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
I'm suffering from that.
Yeah, and I've always had this thing, like when I get home and I'm tired, and I'm, when you're kind of tired but also restless and like and you're not quite ready for bed, but you know you can't play any games. And like my girlfriend always says to me, she's like, why don't you go and play some games? I'm like, it's too tiring. And she always thinks it's ridiculous. But what you've just described is exactly how I feel so often. Like, you're just too... Gaming does take some effort. I'm sure I've talked about it before.
Gaming is engaging.
It's not
and
passive,
it's times like that. You want to switch off. So like, I find myself watching a lot of, like Comedy Central or Dave or stuff like that, and not really paying any attention to what's on TV, but knowing that I'm not ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
And in fact, tonight, after we finish recording, if we finish early enough, I intend to pop down the cinema and go and watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Good reviews from what I've seen.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry to hear about all those changes. Hopefully it sorts itself, or you can realign your life. And all being well, by the next show, I will be in doing my new job role and be settled, and we'll have moved in the office and all that jazz. Yeah. Okay. Thoughts and feelings.
Or shall I go first?
Oh, go on, Justin. What are your thoughts and feelings?
My thoughts and feelings, and I was actually thinking this earlier today. I said that I have virtually gone a month without picking anything up.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hadn't missed any buying games.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't missed that new game feeling. Okay, maybe it's because I played Ride to Hell, but it occurred to me because perhaps I've got to that point where my attitudes have changed toward picking up new games, that I don't feel that I need to be part of the buzz picking up the latest thing.
Uh-huh.
And, you would possibly consider there to be like summer droughts, but I've said before, where I'm not on the next gen worth of consoles, I'm not keeping my eye on what's the latest thing out. But then there isn't really anything that's, noticeable releases at the moment.
Yeah.
So after most of the year, it's actually a scary thought, thinking that in, the best part of 9 weeks, we'll be able to just buy whatever the hell we want again.
Yeah.
And I don't feel excited at that thought. I mean, like, as I sit here now, I have intentions to buy the white PS4, the Destiny.
Oh, okay.
One, because that will be coming out around the time when we finish the challenge, or when I finish the challenge, and that will bring me into the next gen. But I certainly don't think I'm going to be at the point where I start dropping, £40 a month on the latest game, or £50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'll like when I bought my Vita, I'll have had a year's worth of PS Plus content already stored up, ready to go. No doubt the early launch games will be, like, Knack will probably be worth about a tenner by then.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be stuff I can pick up to keep myself occupied. Plus, at the rate I'm going, I'm still going to have, 30 games odd to play through on my current gens.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's my thoughts and feelings. I'm not missing buying games anymore.
Wow. That is
Bit of a change, man.
Yeah, and I knew I could be stubborn enough to just go, I'm not buying games, boom, and just go the whole year without buying anything, or I'm not even getting new games. But there's just, I don't know, maybe because I've been, tired and strapped for time this last month, but I either actively think about games and playing games, or I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it in those time periods.
But then do you still find you still consume things about games? Like, you'll still read news and still go on forums and watch videos and stuff?
Yeah, I still have, like, the majority of my podcasts that I listen to are gaming podcasts. But then I also feel attachment to the shows I listen to because I know the people that record them. Yeah,
you do have a lot like that, yeah. Yeah, you engaged with a lot of those guys that you listen to,
yeah. Yeah, next.
Colm, what have you been thinking about, mate?
I've been just thinking about nothing really, just about next week. But I made the best decision I've made all year. I just gave my partner my credit card to hold on to me for, because then I can't get anything. So, yeah, it's been really good. And I found that I haven't been as broke as I have been. So, yeah.
And you haven't made up all sorts of random holidays in order to justify buying games?
No. So yeah, I haven't had to lie to myself.
Wow.
And to the rest of the followers.
Cool.
Yeah. Adam?
My thoughts and feelings are I'm happy because I'm moving house today or tomorrow, and it's just going to be nice to be able to have a proper setup. Like, I've had everything in one bedroom for the last 2 years, basically. And, like, it's nice. Like, downstairs, ready to move. I've got a nice new TV unit. It's going to have all my consoles in it and stuff. I'm going to finally have room to have everything spread out properly. So I'm excited about that. And not having to share a TV.
You're going to have a man cave.
The missus is a big thing, too. Because we'll be able to have a second TV in the bedroom and stuff, and that means no more of me sat twiddling my thumbs while she watches what not to wear and junk like that. Sex and the City, So yeah, that's my only thoughts today.
Are you getting a man cave in your new house?
No, we're moving into an apartment, so I don't quite have room for a man cave. More a man area.
Right, that's good.
But I'm happy with that. It's an improvement, slowly but surely.
You're getting there.
I'll get in that man cave one day. So that's everything. So we have got quite a few things to give away. Justin, your thing is by far the most exciting, so why don't you give us a little rundown of the story?
Okay, so I have been a fan of the publisher FuturLab for a number of years, and indeed on my Vita I have a game called Coconut Dodge, I have a game called Velocity, which was a PSN Mini back in the day, I think.
Yeah.
I also played and platinumed Velocity Ultra, which I really, really, really enjoyed. I would say I got borderline OCD about finishing that game. And I've met the guys, some of the guys, they're based down in Brighton, met them at Eurogamer last year when they were showing off their new game that's coming out soon called Velocity 2X. And knowing that we were going to be putting out the show and knowing that their new game comes out imminently, I said, hey lads, what is the chances of you giving us a couple of codes to give away for Velocity Ultra on the show? And sure enough, they said, yeah, as long as people love it, we're happy to give you some stuff to donate. And I've actually got 3 codes, they're EU codes, for Velocity Ultra. So if anyone wants to get a free copy of the game, if you missed out when it... I'm pretty sure it was on Plus a while back. But if you missed out, if you're late to the party, just get in touch, tweet me direct or tweet the show, and or send us an email. And I've got 3 codes. It'll be first come, first served, and we'll happily donate those.
Cool.
I also got Surge Deluxe from them as a trial code, as a review code of a few months back. So you might have remember hearing me talking about that. But yeah, Velocity Ultra is basically it's a shooter, scrolling shooter that you have a teleporting ship, and you just have to make it from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen without dying.
Is it hard?
It gets hard. It gets hard if you're trying to do it within the time limit, without dying, with setting everything off in the right order whilst you're trying to go at full speed. Because there's the option of teleporting, like from the top of the screen back to the bottom to go through the course in a different order.
Okay.
There's gates that are triggered in number order to unlock a force field, and if you don't hit them in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, you can't get through the force field. So you have to replay the level. And the levels themselves, I think there's, off the top of my head, there's about 50 levels in the main sort of campaign, and some of them will only take you a minute, some of them take less than that, and some of them will take a little bit more. And it really is one of the best examples I played on the Vita of the just one more go. Just one more go.
Okay.
You know, it's it has that same sense of frustration that if you don't get it quite right, you get mad at yourself and you have to go back and do it and finish that level.
Okay.
So I would encourage anyone who hasn't picked it up to get in touch and, you know, as I say, first come, first served.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much to the guys at FuturLab for sending those and supplying them. And as I say, the new sequel to that game, Velocity 2X, will be coming out soon, so it'll be a good chance to get yourself into the game mechanic before the sequel comes out, which will bring in sort of on-foot sections as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, okay. And just to know, it's been very good, giving us some Steam games away. We've got Dino D-Day, Gun Monkeys, or Space Chem. So, if you want, don't be greedy now, just one at a time, please. If you want Dino D-Day, text Jurassic. If you want Gun Monkeys, text Monkey. And if you want Space Chem, text Space. And the first persons to text them in, or tweet them in, or whatever, will get them. And once again, thanks, Johnson. Very generous contribution.
Yeah, thank you, Justin.
Adam.
Okay, so that's not all we've got to give away, guys. I also got 2 codes that are left over from Humble Bundle. One slightly better than the other, I'll admit. The first is Mafia 2, which you and me, Justin, played quite recently. Both enjoyed.
Yeah.
Semi-enjoyed. You know, it had its faults, but it told a good story at least.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then Wildlife Park 3, which from what I can tell is a crapper version of Zoo Tycoon. And Zoo Tycoon is not exactly a great game to start with. But if you would like to win either of these games, for Mafia 2, I would like you to tweet with the hashtag #MobRules. And for Wildlife Park 3, I'd just like you to text me if you could keep one animal as a pet, safely and nicely, like enough space and everything, humanely. What animal would you keep as a pet? And that'll win you Wildlife Park 3. Either to the YoS Twitter account or to my Twitter account. And that's everything. That's all I got to give away. So we've got quite a few treats this month. Next up, guys, we have got listener mail, and we got quite a few emails this month, and a couple of questions on Twitter. So I'll start off because my good friend Dodgy123 from some forum that I knew him from, I can't remember where, in Europe, that was the one. He sent us another email. So he's written, "Hi guys, 10.5 months in, and I've cracked and gone all Colm on you. I couldn't resist. $30 for Mario Kart, and I didn't want to miss the free game. Then I failed as I bought the Dark Souls 2 DLC as well. Balls. Now I've got to take what I've learned from the last year almost and not go crazy buying stuff. Thanks for the great show, Matt Dodgy123. So Colm, what would you say to him? What would your tips to be to not fall off the wagon completely?
Just, he's done better than me anyway, 10.5 months.
That's true.
He's up there in my estimations for doing very well, actually. So, you know, you've had a setback. You've only got another 9 weeks left, so just get back on the wagon again.
Okay, cool.
Not that I can preach anything, but there you go.
Who wants to read Drunken Rogue's email?
Kev, can I read Kev's?
Yeah, of course you can.
Please, thanks. Hi guys, just wanted to drop a quick message to you all and thank you for the laughs and entertainment that you have given me over the last few months, and also congratulate you all on what you have achieved so far. And after doing it last year, although I was saving for a wedding and the wife wouldn't give me any money, I was pretty easy. LOL. While I am on, I have a quick question for you all to answer. Question 1. When your challenge is finished, and can you... I don't believe that. My iPad's gone now. Justin, you'll have to read it because my iPad is gone.
Okay. So while he is on, he has a quick question for us. When your challenge is finished and you all get your hands on the next-gen consoles, are you going to be happy with the games that are available, or is there something else you would like to see? Either a retro remake, a sequel to something you liked on last gen, or do you want to see something new? Now, he's actually got a couple of questions, so this is just the first one. And, well, I'd say as far as PS4, which I've suggested is going to be the way I'm going, every bloody game is an HD remake of a game that was on the PS3 anyway.
That's a good rant.
Sorry, I'm just having a rant because I'm seeing so many people on Twitter today going, oh yes, I've got The Last of Us Day 1 edition for PS4, and I'm thinking, yeah, and I still haven't played it on the PS3 yet.
Oh, for shame, Justin.
Yeah, and because I will have a year's worth of Plus saved up, I won't be looking forward to buying anything, like rushing out straight away, with the possible exception of Destiny, which may or may not come with a Destiny bundle that I may or may not be looking at on a white PS4. May or may not be.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Not really.
No.
I don't know. I guess I've heard that you've just been moaning about the HD remakes, but I wouldn't mind there being a HD remake of Mass Effect, the Mass Effect trilogy, and play through all them in one go. Just because if they let you import saves, I might struggle going from PS3 to Xbox One. So I wouldn't mind replaying all of them and having a save to import into the potential new 4. That's it, really.
Yeah. No. Although I am looking forward to Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember as well, Adam, on Mass Effect, the Mass Effect 4, if they're going to call it that, is not going to be a Shepard storyline anyway, so importing saves should be
Unless
relevant.
it's like, yeah, just what ending you picked, I guess, might have an impact. Who knows? Yeah, sorry, Colm.
Yeah, just Diablo 3. I would like to get my hands on that one on the Xbox One.
Well, I'm not looking at Diablo 3 for Xbox One, but my good friend Mr. Adam Ducker there was... we said last month, Justin, your gift is on its way.
So it's on its way. We're going to go the PayPal option that we talked the other day. I'm waiting for the money to clear into my PayPal account.
I actually have Diablo 3 on my Amazon wish list, but coming imminently is the glorified edition. It comes with the limited, comes with DLC as well, or the expansion, or whatever you want to call it. So I might just sort of bank the money for the time being and hold on till the expansion comes out. I believe it's later this month. Or in August. I'm just double checking.
In August, it's coming out.
What, the new one?
Xbox One, PS4. The end of August.
The Ultimate Evil Edition, Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, 19th of August.
19th of August? Oh, soon then.
Cool. So I might have some dirty money left over.
Xbox One Edition is also $24.99, the same as the PS3 version.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
$24.99 in pounds. I don't know about your funny currency and the rest of you.
That's quite cheap. Is that just the expansion and the main game, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes with the game included, yeah. Because just Diablo 3 on its own is £19.31, was $24.99 when it added it onto the wish list.
Okay, that's not bad. Because they're usually €70 over here for Xbox One games.
Well, apparently on Amazon it has dropped by £1 since I added it to my wish list back in June.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, there you go. Right, sorry, next question.
Okay, so question 2. Do you think you have learned anything from being part of this challenge? Will it change the way you buy games in the future? Obviously, this one's not for Colm.
Oh,
Burn.
now how is that for a how? Yeah, but burn, but also so ironic given the fact that you haven't bought anything this month.
This is just the first month in a long time. So So anyway, keep up the great work, and really love listening to the new episode when it comes out. So obviously, Justin has learned more than me, I can say.
Yeah, I've learned ambivalence. I kind of, I guess you'd say I've almost got gamer burnout. I haven't got like no interest in playing games. I've just got, no intention to just constantly pour at the keyboard going, please go on sale, please go on sale. Now I really have changed my habits to, I only intend to buy a game if I think I am going to play it now. I'm not going to buy a game that I'll play when I get some free time. I'm going to buy a game that I want to play today.
Do you think you'll finish the Last of Us or start the Last of Us before the end of the year, Shane?
Yeah, I'm going to play through Ni no Kuni next as my big project for August, and then I plan to play through Ni no Kuni, and I might start Assassin's Creed 3.
Sure.
Ambitious.
It all depends on how long Ni no Kuni takes.
That's quite a long game, isn't it?
That's why I say it might depend on how long that takes.
It's quite long.
Adam, have you learned anything? Have you learned anything from not having a PC for 2 months?
Adam, have you learned anything?
I guess you don't need to buy every game in a sale. You can miss stuff and it's not the end of the world is the biggest thing. Even though I have worked out ways to buy some stuff and won money and stuff and had the PayPal fund and all this shenanigans. It's still kind of, I've missed tons of stuff that's on sale that has maybe gone, really? Should I buy it? And it's like, I haven't missed anything. I still have this huge backlog. I've still been playing stuff I've still been playing quality games without having done it. So I think, yeah, I'm just not going to buy everything now, especially so this is the sort of time in a console where you would buy everything that comes up digitally because you're so starved of content. And some of those games don't even look all that good, but I would have bought them in the past, just like how I own tons of dumb minis, because when they first brought them out for PS3, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy all these minis. But you don't need to. So that would be my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I would just also like to point out, just as a quick aside, I have just received notification that Velocity Ultra, which we're going to give away 3 keys for on PSN for the Vita, it is actually in this week's Humble Weekly Bundle Sci-Fi Edition. So I will stick in a key for that, which will give you, if I go for the basic one for $1, it'll be Velocity Ultra, Cosmic DJ Early Access, and Cube.
Start with the Cube?
Because I've never heard of The Last Federation or of The Fall or Strike Suit Infinity or Strike Vector.
Oh, Strike Suit. Oh, no, I haven't heard of that. I'm just looking now. No. Okay.
So if anyone wants a Steam version... In fact, Adam, you haven't played it, have you?
No.
Colm did get it as part of PS Plus. So I will gift it to you because I think you deserve to play it. And
that good?
Yeah.
It was that important to me.
Well, that's a lovely gesture.
Thanks so much.
I can afford $1. Me love you long time, $1.
$1. Saki.
But yeah, now that you've actually got a PC back.
I'm just watching
so to go back on the competition, I will have 3 codes on PSN and I will have 1 code on Steam if you are not a Vita owner. And that's not including the one I'm going to give for you.
Okay.
And I will give away the bits that come with it.
So, okay.
Yes, sorry. Next email.
No, we're not. Oh, sorry. He has a bit there.
Oh no, sorry. The rest of
yeah, The rest of Kev. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Have any of you been listening to We're Alive, a zombie story of survival podcast? What's your thoughts on the whole thing? As I'm listening to the final episode, I typed this, and I have to say I've loved it all a bit. We got it now that it's all over. But I've been listening to it. I am not as far up as Kev, only on episode 14 or something like that. But yeah, it's very good. It's really enjoyable. I would highly recommend it. You lads, have you listened to it?
I completely forgot about it until now. I remember it when it started and meant to listen to it and never did.
Yeah.
I have not listened to it. I have no idea what this is. Please tell me.
It's just a zombie horror survival, and it's a zombie outbreak in a city in America, and it's basically centered around. There's a good few characters in it, but yeah, it's pretty good in how they get to survive and how they come up against different factions and how they learn to read the zombies and stuff like that.
So is it basically like a story?
Yeah, there's a story. Yeah, there's a story. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. And just to finish off, he said, keep up till the end, guys. Kev, drunken rogue. That's rogue, not rouge.
Yes. How many people that really used to wind? Well, it didn't wind me up. It used to amuse me on World of Warcraft. Is the amount of people that played a rogue class but misspelt their name and always put in a rouge.
Rouge class.
And so everyone always used to wearing lipstick.
Yeah. So that's it. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah. Cheers.
Okay. We had an email in from Stylistic Puppy who said, "Well, gents, we're 9 months in and I've just finished episode 9. Another great show as always. It was good to hear Terry again post YoS and hearing how he's been coping with all of the next gen tech he's acquired since finishing his tour. I'm not jealous, by the way. Lol. I also like the new feature, Colm's Confessions. Is this going to have a regular slot over the last few months, Colm? Well, you've obviously not done that today, have you?
No.
I think I'm doing rather splendid if I do say so myself. I haven't bought anything since my Xbox credit ran out way back in January. I have, though, still spent money on games for my wife and my daughter, which I can honestly say I haven't played any of them. Yet. These last few months of the challenge have been made considerably easier for me due to a new job and a house move up to Scotland, so gaming time has been a bit limited of late, but starting to pick up again now. Anyway, the main reason for this email. Myself and the wife were talking about getting an Xbox One the other day, and it's been more or less agreed that we should get one, for a present to ourselves for our 20th wedding anniversary coming up in September. Ah, I hear you say the challenge doesn't finish till October. Well, mine doesn't. My question is, if we buy an Xbox One 2 weeks before the challenge is finished, as a gift to each other, bearing in mind we never gave anything to each other for our birthdays because of moving, etc., would you class that as a failure / breaking the rules? Have a ponder over that, guys, and give me your opinion. I'm thinking it would. Wishing it was October already. Alan, a.k.a. Stylistic Puppy. Now, you two have Xbox Ones, which you've acquired during the challenge, so I'm going to sit back on this one.
I don't have one yet. Well, yeah, I'm not going to condemn the man. I'm not one to speak, so.
I'm going to say if he's got a house move, surely there's no harm in saying he's moved into a house that came with a free Xbox One.
Yeah, that's what they do now when you sign. It's a bit like all these other offers you get with phones and stuff. You get a house, get an Xbox One.
Other people who we've had on the challenge get so far and then spontaneously just collapse and fall off the wagon, inspired by Mr. Colm there.
Of course. Inspiration.
The general view I think we've taken is most people, and this is my approach to it, do their year of shame as a way to not spend money, to change their habits of spending, And if he's gone many months without buying anything and has even sacrificed his own birthday presents, then I would have no problem with him saying late birthday present. I'd also have no problem with him sort of using his own terms, because the only option is you say, okay, well, anniversary, we'll buy ourselves that 2 weeks late. It's not my challenge, it's your challenge, but I personally, I think that as it is a personal thing, if you're happy with your performance of the 50 weeks leading up to that, then I would call it a success and just say, we've got it at this stage. And you probably weren't doing what I did. You probably weren't rushing out and buying games just before you started the challenge.
Yeah.
So, you could all maybe argue that the challenge started earlier than you expected it to.
That's what I kind of ended up doing, because I was going to get Batman Origins like the day before Extra Life, but then I didn't in the end. So then I tracked back and worked out when did I actually last buy a game, and it was like the 10th of October or something. So I was like, I'm good. So yeah, do some math and work out where you're actually starting from, or just
and what your conscience says.
Yeah. I mean, when I opened my Xbox One, my conscience was clean. I didn't buy it. So I was like, thanks very much. I'll see you later. I'll see you next Christmas when I finish playing with this.
Why don't you say to your wife, it's a joint account, so arguably I am contributing toward it, but if you want to go off and buy it for me, that's fine.
There's that option too.
There's always ways and means.
Or you can just be like Colm and just go, some sort of some sort of celebration, which it is a valid one.
Well, it's probably the only valid celebration so far this year. Everything else has been touch and go. Anyway.
Okay. Adam, do you want to do Twitter question?
Sure. This is from Neely84, and it is a question you may have been asked this many times: when the challenge is over, which will be the first game you'll pick up? That question wasn't for Solemn 67, as his gaming library is more up to date than mine. LOL. 2 people burnt you with the same joke.
Oh dear. I will be remembered for something, I suppose.
Exactly. Everyone remembers Terry from last year, and everyone will remember Colm from this year.
You saying that, there were people tweeting about the year of blame.
Yeah.
Any reason to justify spending money on games that meant that I was still within the grounds of keeping up my challenge. And there was also people, was there not, Colm, that were requesting you and Terry and someone else do a show next year as another attempt?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Howard, he'd be another good.
He's my hero. Terry,
that really was an example of I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I've got 200 games.
Yeah. I could imagine just Terry, me, and Howard, and me. We'd have about 1 month's episode, and that'd be the end of it.
It'd be a what have we picked up?
Oh, classic.
You could actually do a show and just call it the Consumer Show.
Yeah, the Consumer Show.
We like to pick up games. This is what we've got.
Yeah. I just got it. Yeah. Good.
I will answer the question. Realistically, it depends whether I drop the ball straight away on a PS4. Because if I do, as I said, I will most likely be getting the Destiny bundle. So Destiny would be my first game. Having said that, if for some reason I have spent the money that I have saved up for it, I'm not actually sure. There's probably still some games coming out on the PS3 that I haven't played, but it would probably be maybe Christmas before I went off looking for them. So I don't know. But Destiny is probably the obvious one for me.
Even though you haven't played the beta.
Yeah. Are you sounding like a European or a North American? The beta or the beta? Yeah. Even though I haven't played the alpha or the beta,
right.
No, I think the general buzz from the trial times has been so all-encompassing, whether it be Xbox One, whether it be PS4, that it will be the next big thing that just everyone wants to be a part of. And if I'm not in a position to pick up and join in at the start, nobody yet knows what the longevity of this will be. If it's something that, burns out quite quickly, then it'd be good to be part of that, fast burning star. But if I don't get a chance to get in on the action until November and, everyone's put it down, then at least I'd have a shiny white console.
I mean, a lot of the talking they're doing, it makes me think it won't be done by November. Like, they're talking about in terms of the longevity, like a MMO.
Yeah.
And how content's going to be released and the post-game content. So I don't think you'll have that problem.
Plus, it will be the big multiplayer shooter.
Yeah, like it will become synonymous with for that for a while, I think. Definitely on PS4 at least. Xbox One might change a bit when the Halo Master Chief thing comes out, I guess. We'll have to wait and see.
What about you guys?
Mine was going to be Destiny 2. Like, I played the beta, enjoyed it. So, yeah, we'll see about when I pick it up, roughly. I mean, it comes out the week after the wedding, which is why I'm doing a year of shame. So we'll see. What about you, Colm?
Nothing's going to change for me, really. I've been still going on this, apart from this month. So, no, I don't know. I'll be just happy to get my hands on my Xbox One.
Take it from there. See what piques your interest.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think that is us. We're done. That is a show and a wrap. I guess we'll remind people where they can find us. At YoS Challenge 2 on Twitter, YoS Challenge 2 at gmail.com. I'm Flameboy84. Justin, where can they find you on Twitter?
They will find me over at OnYour6.
And Colm, where can people talk to the redeemed man that is you?
At Solemn67.
Okay, brilliant. It's been a joy to be back, guys. First time podcasting in like 10 weeks.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks. So without further ado, we're going to say bye, and we will see you all next month for episode 11.
Woohoo!
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Cheerio.